Well, hopefully here we are again on a lovely sunny day. It's the 6th of April, just gone 10 to 6 British summertime, and here in the UK, possibly in other parts of the world. Hope that is all in place. I think it's actually don't know, maybe it's a little bit too inclined downwards, but we'll change it slightly just in case. That might have made things worse, but we'll see. Anyway, hello everyone, it's me again on a Sunday afternoon, and hope you're all well. It's been a beautiful sunny day. In fact, it's been a sunny week, but the wind occasion has brought the temperature down a little bit. I've not played very much during the week, in fact hardly at all. As usual, never any time. Spent doing other things. You have to, don't you? Especially if you live on your own, you have to do things, don't you? Household chores, although I do get some help very kindly from one of my step granddaughters, who is a wonderful young lady who comes and does a bit of cleaning, keeps the place nice and, well, just nice. I like it anyway, and so does everybody else that visits. I'm rattling on, aren't I? What am I doing? I found some pieces of music here from way back in 1978, where I was scribbled down my set pieces for an evening, and when I had to do an evening it was 4 hours. Not like some of these pop stars, they come on and do a little bit for about an hour and a half, and you pay them huge sums of money, and well, we didn't have to do things like that. We had to sit there and play for about nearly 4 hours with very short breaks in between, and get through absolutely tons of tunes. Unfortunately, a lot of these tunes I've got written down. I can't even remember how they go. Can I remember this one? Maybe. Wonder if I can remember this. Don't know. had to do that from memory, partly memory and by ear. It was Whispering Grass, made quite famous in more recent times by somebody that used to be on TV. Trying to remember his name, and I can't remember it for the life of me at the moment. Windsor Davies used to play his Sergeant Major and used to say, "Sing, Shorty," or something like that. Anyway, enough of all that. I can't think of his name. But before that, it was actually done by lots of other people, including the Ink Spots. And that really does go back some time, probably back to the 1940s. Anyway, I just saw a play something that came to mind. And I saw it was listed on my sheet of paper that I played it in 1978 on the 30th of April. So, funny bits of paper I used to save and still have. What have we got here? We've got some tunes that have come out of the cabinet. We're gonna have a little bit of fun after I've done these. Something I've just had an idea about only about half an hour ago. So look forward to doing that with you. See whether you like the idea. You can always tell me it's a rotten idea, and I'll drop it. What have we got? We've got a tune called Feet Up. Copyright date is 1952 and was written, words and music by Bob Merrill, and was sung by Dennis Lotus with Ted Heath on his music. A wonderful big band Ted Heath was, and his music is still played to this day. I've got loads of his recordings. I've got box sets, old 78s. Anyway, there's Dennis Lotus, who used to sing this tune on records and radio broadcasts, and of course at the various venues where Ted Heath and his music used to play. No turnover. So what do we got? I think this is pretty easy. Okay, we're in the key of E flat, 3 flats to remember. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Changes key into a flat. Right. Naturally. And then it goes back into the flat again, goes through it all over again. Lively, it says. Right, okay, lively. I hope I can do it lively. That's too lively because I can't read it quick enough. So bring it down a shade until I've got the hang of it. Let's try this. This is a difficult bit with 4 flats. Right, we'll try again, right? Mess up. One of the reasons is because I can't read the chord symbols on here because it's so small and I haven't got it into my head yet. Right. See, that is actually an E flat 7. I thought when I first looked at it, it was a B flat 7, and that's where I have a problem with my eyesight, you see. So is that an E flat, a B flat, or oh, it's a D flat? I'm doing too well with this. We'll try again. That chord, and it's not going into my head. I think it's, I just can't read it. Right, try again. Try and remember it's an E flat, even though it looks like it's anything but. Right. done the best I can with that one. I think I'll give up. It'll be fine. About a half an hour of good practice on it, I reckon it'll be fine. But still stumbling over some of those chords and some of the notes because I just can't read them. My eyesight, I'm afraid, I feel is getting a little worse each week. But I will carry on until I can't see well enough. And even then I will still carry on, because when I was a child I used to do a party trick, which I still do occasionally. I turn all the lights off, put a blindfold on and still play the piano. It might be a little more difficult with all the buttons on here, but I still occasionally do that because I'm sitting here when it's daylight and sometimes it gets dark and I haven't put any lights on and I'm still playing even though I'm sitting in the dark. Right, but obviously playing things I know. Ooh, this next one, Things, spelled F-I-N-G-S, Things Ain't What They Used to Be. From the show Things Ain't What They Used to Be. Words and music by Lionel Leighton, featured and recorded by Max Bygraves on Decca Records. There's a picture of Max, and Max Bygraves was brilliant in his day. A great entertainer, unfortunately no longer with us. And I've got to turn over the page. We'll see about that. Might be possible, who knows. It's in the key of E flat again. Bright bounce. They've changed our local palais into a bowling alley, and things ain't what they used to be. There's Ted's with drain pipe trousers and Deb's in coffee houses, and things ain't what they used to be. It used to be fun, Dad and old Mum paddling down South End. Now it ain't done. Never mind, chum. Paris is where we spend our outings. Well, it's more than Paris these days. This was written in 1960. So, I've got a rough idea how it goes. Let's see what we can do without too much trouble. Okay, when I turned over my page, my finger must have touched a registration blank, which changed the sounds. Which is the reason why it came out so loud and clunky, because I had suddenly switched. Wow. Oh, that's awful. That's awful, really awful. Right, got to reset. Came out on something which I had to do for a show once, just as on there, Alan and John, which was all right for the show. It wasn't all right just now. Hold on a minute, got to do a reset. Right, okay, should be okay now. Right, yeah, my finger must have touched the screen and pressed one of the buttons when I turned over the page. Right, check, just do a check. Okay, that paint's okay. Right, well that was things Ain't What They Used to Be. Cool, blimey. Now I've got one here, which is a very old tatty piece of music, dog-eared all round the sides, called Sitting on a 5-Barred Gate. It's normally just called 5-Barred Gate, hence the reason why it's in the folder marked F. Sung by Leonard Henry, whoever he might have been. Music by Robert Hargreaves, words by Robert Hargreaves and Stanley J. Damerel. Copyright date, oh whoops, it's tearing a bit more, it's falling apart, and it says 1930. Here's the picture, and there's a 1920s looking girl with a 1920s looking guy, trousers with turn-ups, sitting on a 5-barred gate. Don't know whether you can see all that and see it well enough, but there it is, and it costs sixpence in old money to buy this. Let's see what we're going to do with it. I don't know it at all. Not a turnover page, but oh, it's gonna. I'm being blessed with E flat today. Here we are again, another E flat tune. How does this go? Am I going to be able to stand this up, I wonder? See what we can do, because flapping about everywhere. It's got very long verses which go on and on and on. The main chorus goes something like this. Right. There's no, oh dear oh me, there's no chord symbols. It's piano copy, which I didn't notice before. I don't know whether I can pick this out using my ear. We'll try and see what we can do. I missed out. That's not a note, it's a rest. Set. That is a quaver rest. Oh boy. Silly. Right, right, not a note to play. Down a bit. Still too fast. Well, I've never heard that before. Billing and cooing, wants a lot of doing, sitting on a 5-bar gate, can't make a giggle, fatal if you wriggle, sitting on a 5-bar gate. You can't cuddle her, she can't cuddle you, you can't help your balance, and you promise to. Can't do your wooing, simply nothing doing, sitting on a 5-bar gate. Yes, and so it goes on, a lot of verses. Well, now I've actually pulled out by accident a fourth one. This is Fly Me to the Moon. I did used to play it. It's got holes punched in it, which seems to suggest that it was number 11 in the book. Also known in brackets, in other words. Fly Me to the Moon, brackets, in other words. Words and music by Bart Howard. Copyright is 1954. It's old as that, yeah, 1954. There's a picture, not much to see except the title mainly. And it's something I used to play. I'm going to be a bit out of practice. It says Bossa Nova. To be honest, I don't know. I did probably, if I've written up there Bossa Nova, I would have done it Bossa Nova. Also got a few other instructions like playing the intro at the end Yeah, as the bit at the end played as an intro at the beginning, to get somebody to start off to sing it. That was special little things that I've written on here for when it was played in the band. Right, Bossa Nova. Let's see what we've got as a Bossa Nova. I don't know whether I've ever actually done a Bossa Nova on here proper. No Bossa Novas. Okay, going to my Latin on the main keyboard, and we've got several Bossa Novas. In fact, good half dozen, we think. Let's try this one out. Press that. Okay. That's the first time I've ever played that on the keyboard. I'd completely forgotten that tune, which I used to play so often years ago. It was coming back to me quite quickly from those days. Right, now, this bit of fun I was telling you about. When I used to teach keyboards, well, specifically in the early days, organ. I was an organ teacher, not piano, but organ. And I used to use the complete organ player teaches you everything you need to know in order to play modern style organ by Kenneth Baker. New registrations, new songs, new text. That's because they came out with a new edition of it, and I've got both editions. I don't know whether there's been another one since, because organs got rather forgotten about in more recent times. Not many people play organ anymore. But here it is. There's a picture of the cover, and it's very widely available, so I believe. At the time I bought this, it was £5.95. But just for fun, I'm not going to do a piano teaching course, but just have a bit of fun. Starts off with Merrily We Roll Along. So you'd learn to play Merrily We Roll Along, and you'd start off with, let me just get out of my, just get out of my bossa nova. Okay, it's fine now. Right, so you'd end up going, that's the very first tune. Easy as pie. It's only got 2 chords in it, although you could find others to play in it. And I used to try and get the pupils to play that as it's written, and then to improvise. So you'd end up with trying to teach them to do things like this. So you see, a little simple tune like Merrily We Roll Along, you can work around with it and do other things with it. Now, I'm not going to start teaching people to play, but I'm just going to use this book 1 in the next few weeks as just little examples of what you can do with little simple tunes. For example, the next one that you would learn to play is Largo by Dvorak, and it would go. So there you are, just messing around with simple little tunes just have a go at improvising on them and see what you come out with. Enough of that for this week. That's the first 2 tunes in the book. Next week I'll play you something else from the book and see how it progresses. At the end of this book you would have learnt a few extra chords, and you'll be playing things like Good Night Sweetheart, Top of the World, and Release Me, and Tyros theme, My Own True Love. Every Breath You Take, Super Trooper, Gonna Build a Mountain. We're going to have a little go at those, just for a bit of fun, and maybe so that you can mess around with as well if you've got a keyboard. Just give you a few ideas just to mess about with. What's next? No idea. Never any idea with me. So, whoops, I've got my sync stop on. Okay, start that again. Still got no idea what I'm going to play. Oh, I don't know whether I can do that, but I could try. Okay, let's see. I wonder what key this should be in. No idea. Okay. and that was called Don't Get Around Much Anymore, which is very true in my case, as I'm housebound, apart from going to dentist and hospital. And I actually managed to get out on my buggy, my mobility scooter, for the first time this year, during this week, because the weather was quite nice. So I managed to get out on my mobility scooter and managed to get into one of the local garage shops and drive it around very carefully around the aisles without doing any damage, which is what I did on one occasion last year. I bumped into a few things, but this time I was perfect. Didn't do any damage at all to any of the shelving or counters or various displays. Right, I think it's about time I went. Oh, gracious me, yes. Anyway, hope you have a nice week, and thank you for all the comments, and don't forget to go on to YouTube, do the usual like, share, subscribe. Subscribes is very important, and sharing also is quite lovely to do for me. It's very much appreciated. People do write comments. I always reply, even if it's just a thank you for watching, or a more detailed one if you ask me a question about something. Give me some requests if you can. I know Carol's promised to give me a request to do, but she can't think of anything to play at the moment. Or rather, she can't think of anything for me to play at the moment. At least I'll have a go. We'll keep doing this until I can't. I think I've done about 70 odd of these over the last 70 weeks, 70 odd weeks. I can't tell you exactly how many. And it's obviously over a year, about a year and a half or so. I'm moving around to the back of my mobile so I can turn it off as usual. Have a good week, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. It's later than you think. Enjoy yourself. Right, okay. Bye, everyone. This customary funny little wave with my fingers. And have a good week and see you next week. Bye.